against the yen, and we there is nothing that you can see here on the chart that will tell us that there is any buying coming into the yen. The one word of caution that I just want to tell you about the yen, and I think I mentioned it this morning while we were in the FX street, I said that the Japanese government is helpless. They really cannot do much about how to weaken their currency. They are trying to do some jawboning. They are trying to talk the yen down, but they have not been able to. They tried to convince the G7 in the meeting they had in I think it was Oklahoma or Wyoming, but none of the G7 were willing to support the Japanese government in intervening, because all these countries need to vitalize their economy, to stimulate their economy, and one of the ways to stimulate the local economy is to have a weak currency. Because if you have a weak currency, then your export will be cheaper and there will be a lot of demands to your exports, thus a lot of demand to that will stimulate the local economy. So the US want the dollar to be weak for the time being, even though they say they're looking for a strong dollar as a government policy. The euro wants the euro to be weak because they want to stimulate the eurozone. Theoretically, also the pound wants against versus the yen. This means that a lot of people will not be buying the Japanese product, and the Japanese will be buying the British product, and so forth and so. Having said that, the Japanese have went to a different route, a different way. They have asked all the Japanese companies or investors to liquidate all their short yen positions or short dollar positions which they have on margin. This means that if you want to be short the dollar, you have to be 100% in cash, and that would eventually push the yen lower, because everybody now, but this doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, this doesn't mean it's going to happen next week, this doesn't mean it's going to happen next month. We still have at least till the end of the quarter, before the end of the Japanese fiscal year, which is in April or March of next year. So we have 6 months, and we are going to see some gradual liquidation in the yen positions. Why am I bringing this up? We are technicians, we trade technical. I'm bringing this up because we need to be short the pound yen, we need to be short the euro yen, we need to be short the dollar yen, yet it's extremely important to identify our buying points, either the significant ones or the structural ones, because if any of these currencies go above one of those structure points or significant points, it has only one meaning, and that is that the Japanese government is intervening. Okay? There is intervention taking place. So, having said that, we want now to look at this chart. We want to be short the euro yen, but we must importantly identify a structure point or a price point where above it we're going to reverse. In this case, here we have the 112. That would be the first one. Approximately the 112.07. Okay, we are about 400 pips away, so I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to look at a smaller time frame to see where are we so I can get any hint of any liquidation coming in. There isn't much. You're losing sound. I guess it's at anybody else losing sound, guys? Anybody else? No, I guess it's at your end, Indy. Okay, so I'm trying. I mean, there isn't really any serious points over here that we can. Maybe the 110.56, that would be the closest one. Alright, so again, we'll use the structural point as the 110.56, and let's see where we're going to go short now. Okay, this is nice. So we are going to go short. This is a little bit of a structure point. We have a reversal over here. So below the 108.20, that would be our short point. And our structure long is the 110.56, and our structure short will use the 107.34. We have here the 107.30, it's still intact. 107.34, 107.30, it's one and the same. And if we're going to go long above the, I didn't pick the long point. This here is the long point. We have no other entry unless it's above the 108.87. So our long entry is 108.87. And if you're going to buy it above 108.87, you're going to place your stop below the 108.44, which is the previous momentum low. And going short, well, as I said, we're going to go short below 108.20. I think we can use this as our stop, the 108.60. So the stop, the short stop is 108.60. Okay, this is the Euro Yen. We're going to go long above the 108.87. And if we do go long above the 108.87, we are going to place our stop pretty much below 108.44. We can go short below the 108.20, and if I go short below 108.20, my stop is 108.60, and my structure long, or the trend change, Boris, to the upside is the 110.56, and the continuation of the trend to the downside is the 107.30. Okay, and that is the euro